Welcome back, everyone. You just heard the album called American Collisions by Center. It was 6 tracks, 50 minutes long. If you missed it, make sure to check it out on Spotify, Bandcamp, and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm joined by one of the members now to talk about that record as well as the band. How about you introduce yourself and tell us kind of a brief history of Center?
Hey, I'm Pete. I play guitar and I do the yelly guy vocals on the record. So as far as our story, it's not much of a story really. I used to play in this really fast, chaotic punk band, and then in 2013 that band broke up. And then the drummer Tony and we kept wanting to play. We still wanted to play together. So we got together, started writing music that was less chaotic, and we got 2 songs together, just fragments of songs, and we recorded cell phone demos of them. And then we were hanging out with our friend Neil one night. I know Neil just through mutual friends, Long Island punk scene.
Okay.
Everybody knows each other in the Long Island punk scene. So. We showed Neil the demos of the songs, and he liked them, and he wanted to work on them with us. And then once Neil joined the band, that's when the songs really came together, because Neil has a talent for arranging music that, I don't have.
So was that of the initial kind of pitch you had for the sound kind of change when Neil joined?
I don't know if I had an idea for how I wanted it to sound. I do think that when Neil joined, it got more melodic, because Neil it can actually sing. He can play guitar really well and he can sing really well, and that's talent I do not have. So, so Neil's ability to sing added a layer of melody and maybe made it more accessible than it would have been if it had just been me writing the songs. And so we got a few songs together, and then we recorded our first record in 2014, self-titled, with our friend Alex Scherze. Shout out Alex Scherze. We played a bunch of shows into 2015, and then in 2015, Tony had to move into Suffolk County, and so it was logistically impossible for him to join. So we didn't have a drummer, so we just didn't do anything for 2 years. We essentially, from 2015 to 2017, we did not do anything at all.
So, and that led to Tom joining the band on drums.
Yeah. Tom, he used to play guitar in State Lines. He's a brilliant musician. He can play drums really well. He can play guitar really well. He can sing really well. His mom was a music teacher. He's like a prodigy, and we make him play drums. He has more talent than anybody. We just make him play drums.
So, with that transition, what was it like? How did you get in contact with him, and did he fit in perfectly with the group?
Yeah, I mean we've known him for a while. We've just been friends with him for a while. I mean, like I said, it's a Long Island punk scene.
Yeah,
everybody knows each other. So, yeah, I've known him for a long time. And then he also played drums in Neil's other band, Low Lives.
Okay, so he kind of had that little chemistry with Neil already.
Yeah, exactly. He joined. We started playing shows again. We wrote some more songs. And then we recorded this new record, American Collisions, with Phil Douglas, who he currently plays in Iron Chic, and he's playing Latterman.
So let's... We'll talk about the record in a bit, but let's talk about your sound. You kind of mix a bit of grunge with punk, with a bit of spoken word sound. So, what are some of your influences that kind of brought this sound together?
I would say, I mean, there's gonna be things that me and Neil maybe don't have in common, but I would say in general, just kind of the classic post-hardcore bands. At the Drive-In, Fugazi, Thursday, On the Might of Princes from Long Island, Thrice, Cursive, just things in that vein, artsy punk is what we're trying to go for. Maybe we don't succeed, but it's what we try.
Like you said, you guys did a you did pretty much nothing for 2 years. It took 5 years for the new record American Collisions to come out. So like with that kind of like era of like not much happening, was there any hesitation moving forward with the band? Were there any ideas to kind of like move into like a new project and move into another sound?
I mean, not really. We never really discussed, like the band not doing anything for 2 years because
It's like we should start this up.
we just got busy with life. Neil was playing in Low Lives. I was busy with work and other things, and then like I don't know. Every now and then we just text each other and be like, "Hey, we should really start center again and practice," and then we just wouldn't do it, and then eventually we actually did it.
So when was that moment that you kind of say, "Hey, let's create this new EP"?
I guess at the moment that like Tom wanted to join the band, that's when we're like, okay, now we have like a drummer that we could work with and get these like new songs out. And two of the songs on the new record are actually predate that break.
Okay.
They're like just old ideas, and we've eventually finished them with Tom on drums.
Mm-hmm. So how long was the writing process for the other songs to finally complete the EP?
Probably like 6 months or so. We started really working on them in 2017, and then we started recording with Phil right at the end of 2017, like right around Christmas 2017. Yeah.
With the record, do you guys plan to play some shows this year to finally bring that new material to stage?
Yes.
At some point.
Yeah. Our last show was in December. We haven't played a show in a while. Yeah, we do need to play more shows. That is definitely on the agenda. I think we have one coming up in June. I don't think it's been announced yet, but I think the folks in Long Island Emo are putting it on. I think we're playing with Soren in Lindenhurst. I can't remember the specific date, but I think that's the thing that's happening.
All right, so let's talk about the EP now. So let's start with the name and the artwork. What was the process in choosing the title American Collisions, and how did you pick the artwork to represent it? For people that haven't seen it, it's pretty much a person standing at the side of a stream in like the woods during the late evening.
Okay, so the title of the record, I don't know. I kind of just thought of it and I texted it to Neil, and
It's like I was just going with it.
well, I mean, I thought of it because I think the record has themes that are, involve politics and they involve, our personal lives, and so I wanted to like have something that would illustrate that kind of conflict
With everyone.
Yeah, essentially. Nothing is going right. That's what that title means. And the artwork, the original idea that Neil had was to have somebody standing barefoot by broken glass. And we just never really got around to doing that. And eventually that idea just slowly morphed into, let's just stand outside barefoot. And so that was taken in January, that photo. And that's Neil's feet on the album cover. And we took pictures of both our feet, like standing barefoot. And it was freezing cold. And it was like by this river and the ground was wet.
Was there like a whole vote on whose feet should be on the album cover?
I mean, I made the sole vote to have Neil spend most of his time barefoot because I was cold.
Okay.
So I just made an executive decision that I didn't want to stand barefoot outside in the cold.
In January.
Yeah. So, that stream it's like behind a school or something in Merrick. Neil took me there. I don't know exactly where it is. You'd have to ask him. But yeah.
All right. So, let's talk about the writing process. So what is you, Neil, and Tom do to create the other free tracks on the song that weren't predated?
Generally, somebody will just bring a riff or two, and then we'll try doing it as a band, and essentially from there we just argue until the songs are done. Like that's our whole band is just based on arguing.
Is there use of like computers or like MIDI to like help structure these songs? Or?
I do that sometimes. If I want to just illustrate an idea of what the final product might sound like, then I might just do a little like GarageBand demo or something like that. Neil generally just brings in riffs and then just like it's like, all right, then the drums go like this, and then you do this, and then I don't know, it's different.
The record has a nice mix of dynamics on it. I was mentioning before, kind of like that mix of genres of the punky with the spoken word, as well as that grungy style. And you hear like kind of throughout the record, you have these like little light melodies, and you guys will go like full out like punk riffs, and has that little bit of craziness. So when implementing these shifts in sound, was there any difficulty? Did you have a certain process in your head to how the song should be structured?
I don't know. I think it's different from song to song. And in general, I think me and Neil, like where we're really compatible in music is that we like our guitar playing kind of blends together pretty well, and we both like big dramatic moments in the music, and that's why we go from being like really quiet to really loud, like because I think if you just play loud all the time, I think it's just it wears out the listener, but you sound heavier if you're just playing quieter a minute before. So I think that's the general idea.
So kind of going off the production, what are maybe some small details on this record that people should listen out for, whether if they're hearing this record for the first time, the third time, the fifth time, whatever it may be?
I guess on the intro track, there's a sound clip that's taken from a news story I found on YouTube about people that suffer from OCD. And so the woman in that sound clip at the beginning is a psychologist describing the mindset of somebody that has obsessive compulsive disorder.
Okay. Just talking about that is like one thing affecting the other, and leading to another thing.
The clip is essentially meant to just like, and there's a lot of anxiety on this record, and so it's kind of just meant to set the tone of like, hey, like get ready to be anxious, man. Here we go.
On the record, were there any points that you felt like you improved as a musician as compared to like the older release?
I don't know about improved. I wanted to try something. I don't know if we ever improved, to be honest. But I mean, I one thing I wanted to try on this record that was different from the last record was I wanted to have songs that were less just like part, and have a few songs that kind of just had one groove throughout the whole thing. And maybe like more space in the songs, like not so many guitar parts piled on top of each other. Okay. So that was the main thing. It's mostly just kind of trying to hold back, actually, rather than like our normal tendency is to write a song that has like 500 parts. So just trying something different.
Kind of going off of doing something different, what are maybe some things you want to experiment with in the future? If you guys do create another EP sometime in the future, maybe 10 years from now.
I think we are actually going to be doing a split record that should be coming out later this year with some other bands. As far as what we want to try, I don't know. I guess the end goal is to always just get better and write songs that are richer. I kind of want to try to write some stuff that maybe has more energy to it, like not like super fast or anything, but maybe like an At the Drive-In kind of energy.
Okay.
I would like to try something like that, like something a little more explosive, and then also have songs that are way quieter than what we're doing now too, just more extreme.
All right, so let's move into some lyrical questions. Let's start with affection damage. And I picked out the lines, if you don't give in, that means you are weak.
Okay, that song has a lot going on with the lyrics. So that song, it's about a guy who's he finds himself in a sexual situation with a woman that he doesn't feel comfortable with. Like, he doesn't know her that well. He doesn't really feel a connection with her, and the woman is down for it, and she's cool with it. But he is like feeling insecure about the situation. But he goes through with it anyway because he feels like this is what a man is supposed to do. Like, he feels like this is what being masculine is. Being masculine is about, you know, going out and getting laid, man, scoring. So that line, like, that's just a reference to the warped idea that like America has about masculinity and what that means. And so the last part of the song is kind of defiant, saying like, you know, if you don't want to be that kind of man, you don't have to be that kind of man. You can just, you know, be intimate with people you feel comfortable with or whatever.
Make your own decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, like, I feel like that kind of warps masculinity. Like, you've seen it become problematic, like with things like the Me Too movement and things like that. You see men behaving very aggressively sexually, and I think that warped idea of masculinity is kind of at the heart of that.
Let's move into the next song called "You Made Your Masterpiece," and I picked out the line, "You paint your masterpiece with care, so masterfully, soon just shades of red taken from dead after dead, so you kill."
So Neil wrote the lyrics in this one, so I don't want to put like words in his mouth or anything, but from what he's told me, this song is about how some politicians essentially they don't care about issues unless it starts to directly affect them and people they know. And the example he used when he explained it to me was Dick Cheney. During his political career, he used to be all against gay marriage and you know, all against homosexuality and stuff like that. And then his daughter comes out as gay, and then now all of a sudden he has a change of heart. It's like, you know, why didn't you care about it before, man?
Yeah.
What happened?
So pretty much kind of like hypocrisy in politics.
Yeah, it's like, you know, he arrived at the right conclusion eventually, but, you know, it took like personally knowing somebody in that situation for him to change his mind.
So the fourth song on the record, Fake Collisions, I picked out the lines, "The collapse took the form of a sickness, and I rejected it as a liquid. I'm conducting endless forensics for a crime that was never mine."
Okay, this song is
I pick out the difficult ones. So
yeah,
I mean,
this whole song is difficult. But this song is it's a little too personal for me to talk about on the air, but I'll say that it's about one of the worst nights of my life, and yeah, hard times.
All right, on that note, we'll move on to the next song, Election Fight, and I picked out the lyrics, "We watched it change as we saw the flame scorch what we thought we knew."
So this is another one that Neil wrote. And Neil has actually never discussed the lyrics of the song with me, so I don't I don't like 100% know what it's about. But if you ask what I think it's about, I think it's about like the outside world and politics. You know, everything's going wrong, and everything's awful in the world, and then your personal life is also going wrong on top of that.
The last song on the record, Contrition, I picked out the lines, "The survival instinct can flicker out, just try to protect yourself."
Alright, so this song is about going through a weird mix of anxiety and depression, where you can, on one hand, feeling like when you have anxiety, you feel incredibly concerned for your safety. Like, you're freaking out about something that can go wrong, like you might be sick or anything. And then when you have depression, it's very likely that you might be fantasizing about dying or disappearing or something like that. And so if you have a combination of those things, essentially that means that your survival instinct is completely messed up. And because you don't know if you want to die or you want to live. So that's what that line is about. And I kind of wanted to end the record on like this kind of like ominous yet sort of hopeful note. Like it's kind of like just like a warning, like just hey, just like try to take care of yourself. And it was actually inspired by an electronic musician, believe it or not, Bonobo. He had a guest vocalist on one of his songs, and he just said the vocalist just sang the word "stay warm," and just those two words, like it's just two lyrics. But I actually thought like I like the tone that it gives off because it's just like it's just a warning. It's like, hey, it's cold out there, stay warm. I don't know, just the vibe of it. Just I don't know.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in, discussing your latest EP, American Collisions. Where can people keep up to date with you, find your music, and yeah.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Too bad we couldn't have the rest of the guys come in.
Yeah, that would have been good. They all have normal jobs, unlike me. So, find our music and social media. Instagram.com/centerli is our Instagram. Facebook is facebook.com/centerliny. Centerli was taken, so we had to go for centerliny. Centerli.bandcamp.com if you want to listen to our 2 records. It's also, both of them are available on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer. If you're one of the weird people who uses Deezer, you can find it on Deezer.
Never heard of that in my life.
I think it's on YouTube. Napster, I don't know.
Napster. Well, everyone, make sure to check out Center on all those platforms and listen to their latest record called American Collisions. For now, we're going to be moving on with the show. I'm going to be